She's the one who wrote this match, right? Okay, great. So I'll give her. Are we supposed to give the judges microphones or no? Yes. Are they giving comments? Yeah. Okay, great.
For
Let's do that.
Alema. Listen, maybe it will be
Two. Give two, not four. Mic check 1 2. Mic check. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم. It's all good, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen and distinguished guests, dear colleagues,
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for being here today. I'm going to be your host today for the Rising Innovation Awards or Rising Innovators Awards, which is a prestigious, it's a, give me a second, maybe I'll just take a little minute. It's truly a remarkable experience to present RIA during the Doha Web Summit for the first time, an event that embodies inspiration and dynamic innovation. The Rising Innovation Awards, or Rising Innovators Award, is a prestigious competition designed to recognize and celebrate exceptional young innovators. This initiative not only provides a unique platform for participants to showcase their groundbreaking ideas and innovative solutions, but also to connect to them with the industry leaders, mentors, and potential collaboration. RIA is a true reflection of QRDI's Council commitment to foster culture of innovation and empowering the immense talent that Qatar has to offer. RIA is the first cycle. At its first cycle, we received 32 projects, 30 reviewed, and 5 shortlisted. Before we proceed, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to the distinguished panels of preliminary judges whose expert evaluation and dedication have been instrumental in shortlisting the outstanding projects that have advanced to this final round. And I also want to take a moment to thank the team who have come up with this, who are behind this, Dr. Ayman, Noha, and Noor, and the rest of the team for really coming up with this program and putting it together here in a platform such as Web Summit. So I would like to, with pleasure, introduce and welcome our esteemed presentation judges for today. Professor Hilal Lashwal, Research, Development and Innovation Advisor to the Chairperson and Executive Director of RDI at Qatar Foundation. Thank you for being here. Mr. Majid, an old friend and a colleague from Alchemist. Happy for you to be here. He's the Director of Ecosystem Integration of Alchemist Doha. We have Mohammed Al-Imadi. He's joining us soon, but Sheikha on his representative from QDB. And Dr. Khalid Fakhru, the Chief Research Officer and Director of the Precision Medicine Program at Sidra. I will now leave you to my colleague to take you through the process, and good luck to everyone here pitching today. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Aisha, for your introduction. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everyone. It's time to invite our 5 exceptional RIA finalists, projects that have truly inspired our evaluators and impressed them, and through their innovation and vision. I will ask each finalist to join me on stage. You will have 5 minutes of oral presentation, and please, when you hear this sound, conclude your presentation promptly to give the judges 3 minutes Q&A. Let's have an inspiring round of presentations, and good luck to all. We will begin with our first presentation from Weill Cornell University in Doha with Karim Ali.
Assalamu alaikum. We are a group of 5 medical students from Weill Cornell, and today we introduce to you ScopeClear, which aims to revolutionize surgical camera cleaning. Now, imagine you're having a life-saving surgery, and this was your surgeon's view. Believe it or not, this is what we see every single day in the operating rooms. While doing minimally invasive surgery, you have a camera that's inserted in the patient's body, and you expect to see a nice and clear vision like this. But the reality is, within minutes, the camera gets obstructed by blood or fog or other sort of debris, and now you've lost your field of vision. Now, obviously, you need to clean the camera, but the problem is, to do so, you have to manually remove the camera from the patient's body, wash it, dry it out, clean the port, and put it back in every single time the camera gets obstructed. Now, this constant cleaning adds a lot of unnecessary extra times to surgeries and consequently increases hospital costs. Every year, $80 billion is lost in the healthcare system in the US due to this extra cleaning time. And aside from affecting the hospitals, those who pay the bills, it's also impacting the surgeons and the patients themselves. Now, from the surgeon's point of view, going through that cycle over and over again of removing the camera, cleaning it, and putting it back in, that disrupts your flow of the surgery. And sometimes you're at a very critical moment in your operation where you can't remove the camera, and now you're forced to operate with a suboptimal vision. This then leads to complications. In fact, 20% of complications in scope surgeries happen due to an obstructed vision, a ridiculous number for such a reason. Now, our solution to this is ScopeClear, an attachable cleaning device. What you have here is a typical laparoscopic surgical camera, and our device is an attachment that goes over the camera as so. Towards the near end, you have a pump reservoir and a trigger button, and at the far end of the camera lens, you have two nozzles for releasing water and CO2. And essentially, the idea is, with one click of a button from outside, you're able to clean the camera lens without having to remove it from the body. Now, the global market for scope surgeries is estimated at $260 billion. The scope market in the MENA region is valued at $5 billion, and our sum is 20% of that market, leaving us with $1.1 billion. And we will be starting off locally first and targeting Hamad Medical Center. For our business model, we'll be selling directly to hospitals through long-term contracts or directly to physicians who run their own private surgical centers. In terms of our sustainable competitive advantage, we are the first to market to allow cleaning without the need of large control units. We also allow ease of use by the operation of one click of a button. We are also aimed to target all different types and models of surgical cameras. And actually right now we've been working with our legal team at the New York campus with Cornell to patent our current device, and we aim to offer it long-term support by incorporating physician feedback into the device. And aside from completely eliminating the need for large bulk units, we're also, compared to the existing competitors, we are the only ones that target both the fogging issue of the lens and the obstruction of the lens by blood and debris. And this is where our product lies in the market in terms of combining high effectivity and low cost. Now, over the past year, our product has had a lot of achievements and a lot of milestones. So it was a 2-time first place winner in the national entrepreneurship competitions. And using kind of the funding and the mentorship and incubation we received from those, we started our patenting process. And actually right now we're working with Studio 5 by the Ministry of Communication and Information to develop a first iteration of the prototype. And actually every surgeon that we've showed our first iteration to has said, I want this in the operating room with me right now. And actually just recently in December, we were invited to present this in front of Dr. Jill Biden, the former First Lady of the United States. And she even referenced this in one of her speeches in the Doha Forum. Now, the team is comprised of myself, Karim Ali, along with Shogh Al-Thani, Aisha Al-Haydous, Lujain Al-Amadi, and Ahmed Al-Ansari. And as medical students, we're using our own experiences from the operating rooms in this project. And aside from our medical background, each one of us adds a unique entrepreneurial twist, ranging from experience in prototyping and hardware designing to a background in market research. And alongside our mentors, who are both experienced in scaling up startups and the products, we aim to create a device that's going to impact both Qatar and hospitals worldwide, one that is in line with the Qatar 2030 vision of maintaining a healthy population. Thank you.
We have 3 minutes for Q&A from the judges.
Yeah, thank you very much for a very nice presentation. We spoke a lot about the concept, about the patentability. Can you touch base quickly on the competition? But what would be your first steps of validation? Have you validated your concept?
Yeah, so in terms of the competition, so in terms of the existing competition, so right now, the standard of care for cleaning the camera lens is removing it from the patient's body and all that. So our goal is to completely eliminate scope removals. And so our competitors are ones that have tried to kind of prevent fogging or debris from happening in the first place. Some of them include putting anti-fogging solutions or certain different coatings on the lens, but still those are not effective because at the end of the day, you still have to remove it from the patient's body, and that's the main issue. And so compared to the existing competition, our goal is to completely eliminate the need to remove it from the body.
I understand your goal, but what is your first validation study?
Yeah, so right now we're in the process of developing our first prototype, and so we've demonstrated a proof of concept where kind of with kind of a rough tubing and kind of the proof of concept of where you inject water or an air and you're able to clean the lens. So we've had a proof of concept where we demonstrated that you can clean the lens using kind of a similar concept where you have openings at the end of the lens, and you inject water or any other way, and you clean the lens. So we've demonstrated that as a proof of concept.
Thank you, Kareem. Yatik al-Afi. Very good job. So I was in Stars of Science, and one of my alumni, like one of the participants at Stars of Science, he did exactly what you've done, and he has a patent, and his name is Ahmad. He's from Ahmad Nabil. Thank you, and he's from Kuwait, and he has a patent in the U.S. and I think in the GCC as well. I didn't see his company in the competitor slide.
Yes. Oh, so actually, we actually are aware of.
Okay.
Of
So
him.
So my question to you: what is your value proposition?
Oh yeah. So basically, with in terms of the market, so we're the first ones to eliminate the bulk control units because, so for example, the example that you brought up is kind of, it tackles a similar idea of having a sheath that covers over the camera, but you have to connect all these ports to a control unit. And so in our initial market research, when we spoke to surgeons, the reason that this is having a lot of struggle in being incorporated in the hospitals, and the reason why it's really not used in a lot of the operating rooms, is because once you add an element of a control unit or a system, that kind of becomes difficult in the area, because in the operating room you have the surgeon, you have the medical student, you have the surgical tech, and there's a lot of ergonomics that goes on, a lot of hand motions, and so you really want to, from a lot of the feedback that we received from the surgeons was that if we want a solution, it has to be something that's not bulky or does not have an external unit or anything that's going to basically crowd the area, because the area is already very small and there's very limited hand motion, a very limited area in the operating room, and so that's why in our initial interviews with surgeons, that's how we led to this solution, how making it completely eliminating control units and making it nice and very simple and non-bulky.
Thank you, Kareem. Thank you so much. Now allow me to welcome the next project from Hamad bin Khalifa University, Zofler Sharif.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Muhammad Fazlur Rahman Sarip. I'm PhD student Islamic Finance and Economy, Hamad bin Khalifa University Qatar Foundation. So we are creating Sharia Bot II, Sharia Advisor Chatbot. Right now we have faced about a problem. So there are, right now there is a problem in the market in terms of Islamic finance because hiring Sharia compliant or Sharia scholars is too expensive. For example, they rate about 3,000 Qatari per hour. And in terms of that, there are 66% about adults not about Islamic finance. They don't know about Islamic finance. And in terms of that, they are 1 or 2 years if you want to get certification compliance. And only a 10% of Islamic fintech affording Sharia compliant teams because it's too expensive. So right now we create some solution called a Sharia Advisor Chatbot. to give some compliant issue, we can reduce about 50%, so they can asking about a question about Sharia compliant issue. And there is some big market in terms of Sharia compliance, because right now in Qatar, about total cost Sharia compliance across Islamic finance institutions are about 2.5 billion. And in terms of annual expenditure of Sharia advisor compliant Qatar Islamic banking, they expend about 1 billion. It's a huge market. And do you know about estimated cost of manual Sharia certification compliant check? Read about 50 million. So our target is about 1% only, about 2.5 million population in Qatar, where the people of the market, about 20% market is still in Islamic finance, multiply 25 per month. So inshallah, we can get about 40 million annual revenue potential. And yes, this is our target. Our target not only for the Sharia professional Islamic finance sector, but also for Sharia advisors who want to connect to the API about Sharia advisor chatbot that we make. We target also about 7 Islamic banking, KAB, Master RIA, to connect our chatbot so they can answer all the questions from the customer. And it can increase about financial literacy. And we targeted also about 10% major government who has Islamic finance divisions want to connect our Sharia board advisor chatbot. In terms of business model, so we procure not only for the B2C, but also we procure also for business to business. We provide some free questions. You can ask about a question, but just for the student, also for researchers. But we charge about 25 Qatar Rial if you have a question about Sharia compliance issues, but just for 5 users seat. It's a good for the Sharia compliance for fintech startup in Islamic finance consultants. And we enterprise also for the enterprise, so they can custom AP solution with our chatbot. This is our solutions. And in terms of market competitions, we are the first Sharia advisor chatbot that will exist in the market with competition with the Zoya Finance, ESP, AOF, and Amani Advisor Mufti Online. But we are the first AI-driven solution. We provide our chatbot 25 hours and affordable subscription, so you can connect your website to our chatbot that can answer about Sharia compliant issue, and you can also integrate about Islamic digital banking and finance. And this is our milestone. Alhamdulillah, we got a funding from Qatar Foundations, and we want to launch our product in 2025. We're focusing not only for the prototyping, but also market validation, doing market development, and also scalization and nutrition. And we really focus at 2026. We will expand our market not only for the Qatar, but also we want to expand our market not only for the Qatar, but also for the MENA, Southeast and OC country, so we can onboard Sharia scholars. Alhamdulillah, we are seeking about 100,000 Qatar Riyal to preserve funding to market development, partnership, technology development, also legal contingency. And this is our founders. Our founders is passionate about Islamic finance. I'm PhD Islamic finance, and our co-founder is machine learning expert. We are board advisor by Professor of Islamic Finance and Economy Ahmed Farouk Aisan, coming from the HBQ, and also Samir Ibrahim, Professor of Computing Science, Hamad bin Khalifa University. And alhamdulillah, we have a very prestigious award. We are the first winner of Sharia Al-Fikra National Competition funded by Qatar Development Bank and also Qatar University. And we are being incubated also by Qatar Science Technological Park. And we got us funding also from the HBQ Innovation Fund under Qatar Foundations. We have a win also Student Life Award HBQ. And we also the first winner Code Camp II Hackathon organized by Digital Incubation Center. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that great presentation. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So I have a couple of questions. Let me start first of all by have you, when you came up with this idea and when you were developing it, have you consulted any of those Sharia compliance experts who sit on boards and who answer those questions, you know, those people who are highly paid right now? Have you consulted them for what kind of questions they get and what they think of this bot?
Yes, surely. For the first one, we create the prototype development. We create a WhatsApp chatbot. So we answer all, if you have a questions, and then they will give you some queries and questions. We will provide you a reference. Our reference is IOF standards. So what we make what we have competitive advantage compared to the ChatGPT, because ChatGPT can give you some reference. They just give you all the information. But our chatbot, we can give you some question and give reference. This is the reference of IOF standards. So we use IOF standard as our benchmark. But after that, after getting some fund, we will also, because IOF standard only cover from the Bahrain and also MENA countries, but there's also some standard we call EIPSB. And also Indonesia, we call Majelis Ulama Indonesia. So inshallah, after the first prototype that we make, we also expand our market not only for the IOF standard, but we use also a reference from the Indonesian market.
Sure. So
Yes.
it's a little bit of a different question I was asking.
Yes.
I was asking if you interviewed
Yes, we already.
the experts who sit on the board and who provide this expert advice, right? My second question, which is a follow-up to this, is you know, usually you put those people on your board to answer questions because you're answering really fringe questions.
Yes.
So, you know, there's like 1,200 rules in Sharia compliance, right?
Yes.
But for people, for Sharia compliant banking, etc., 99.9% of those are going to be known by most of the staff, right? So I imagine a bot would be very useful for the layman,
Yes.
but I don't know if it will be useful for the banking industry. I think your better target would probably be students of Sharia compliance, people who want to learn more about it. Because you see what I mean? Like those institutions already, they know everything. They're only looking for those experts to answer the fringe cases, not the routine questions. What do you think of that?
Yes, I think we have one prototype called Nila Bank. So we can we are connected to the Nila Bank. There is some website called Nila Bank. So we have some chatbot. So they can, for example, because sometimes people are very rude and they didn't know is it Sharia or not Sharia compliance. So when we chat our chatbot, what is murabaha, and we didn't know. So that's why when our connect our chatbot to the, for example, the Islamic fintech Nila Bank, so they know this is murabaha. Murabaha is this one. What is musharaka? So before they invest in some company, for example, that we don't know is Apple or Uber is compliance. So we'll get an answer. Can I invest in Uber? So we'll give you some question. You can invest in Uber because the debt is no more than 30%. This is what we make. Yes.
Just to follow up on this, on the technology side, do you have any competitive edge? You talked about AI,
Yes.
but is your approach unique from the approach of your competitors? That's the number one question.
Yes, for the first one, we use API from the OpenAI. But when we connect to the API, it's too expensive because OpenAI is very expensive. So that's why we take a Gemini. So we use large language model from the Gemini from the Google. So it can reduce the cost, yes.
Okay. And then the second question is, how do you establish the reliability of this?
Okay, we running the data. We have about, in IOF standard, there are 1,025 page. So we run and that we train the data, and they will give you some of the question. If you have a question, and when they will train you about the answer based on IOF standard. For example, what is murabaha? What is musharaka? They will give you some answer based on our reference. Musharaka is profits. Musharaka is this one. So they will give you from the detailed ones.
But have you, just one,
Yes.
have you tested it based on real-time cases of what your clients would need?
Yes, because we put it reference. We give some page. You can find our chatbot in this page. So we mention the page and also we find the reference. So it's good because for hiring Sharia scholar is very expensive. So we can increase the customer trust with connecting our chatbot, Islamic fintech or Islamic bank. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fazlur, for an interesting presentation. Please join me in welcoming the next finalist from University of Doha for Science and Technology, Mr. Nihal Ashak.
Over the past decade, Qatar has transformed. It's no longer just an energy powerhouse, it is a global hub, a bridge between the East and the West. Qatar, as a nation, has the power to shape industries, promote peace, and drive commerce. And yet, as new businesses grow, one problem remains unresolved: logistics. Small startups and businesses that, as the lifeblood of innovation, they struggle to scale up. Why? Because shipping is expensive, sorting is slow, and in between all that, efficiency is an afterthought. So let's change that. What if, instead of instead of building another mega warehouse, we give the power to the small businesses and shipping companies to sort and scale on their own, and which would quite frankly help them succeed from day one, right? And that's why I'd like to introduce you to the Modular Automated Sorting Hub, or MASH. MASH is a smarter, faster, and cheaper sorting system that works right out of the box. We've built a machine that is on par with the competing technologies while only being a third the cost. So you must be wondering, how did we do this? Well, we stayed away from the traditional approach of heavy, expensive, and quite frankly, specialized units, such as finger mechanisms and conveyor belts. And instead, we built our own small modules using our patent pending mechanism that can scan and sort packages using computer vision. As you can see, the package was scanned, the label was scanned. Next, I would like to show you a quick demo of our prototype, showcased to DHL Qatar in August of last year. Here you can see our prototype in a packaging environment, but our prototype can be used in other environments such as healthcare and maybe manufacturing, etc. So you can see the predetermined routes, and it's going to the basket. After that, we were able to get an $18,000 grant from QNRF to patent it. Unlike our competitors, our units are modular, so it can be used in any layout according to the task at hand. And because these units are modular, the companies can start small and scale up as required.